Hi, this is Tracy Carmen. Welcome to this page for our group parenting, our virtual group parenting. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about this verbally because I know some people learn and prefer to hear things auditorially. So this group, it's designed for parents who really want to make a difference in their family. And change doesn't happen overnight. I mean, sometimes we can make a change for ourselves and go in a different direction. But really, when you're trying to make a change with several people, even if it's two people in your family, like a single parent and one child, if you're having any kind of trouble at all, you want to dive into something that's going to be doable. So it's not going to be really super time intensive, not going to be huge shifts for you, but they're going to be doable pieces that are going to help you along the way over a period of time so that you can actually make the change long term that you're looking for. So what I've designed is this virtual parenting group where we meet twice a month on the phone on a conference line for 1 hour each. And you can bring your questions, bring your wins, bring your challenges, bring what's not working, bring the pieces that are working, all the different things. It's really, we're creating it in such a way that it's a very safe place. We're also going to have a forum, a place where you can, in between calls, because 2 times a month for 1 hour, it doesn't seem like a whole lot. And it's because I didn't want it to be time intensive for you, because I know parents are hugely busy. We've got things with the kids, we've got sports, we've got homework, and if we're working as well, we don't have even 2 hours in a month. But if you can squeeze in the 2 hours in a month, and then in between those calls, there is going to be a place where you can go, you can type in your questions, it's going to be a forum. All the members in that particular group, and it's not a flowing in, flowing out group. You are a group for the entire time of this group. And the group will meet for 6 months. And you can go in there and you can write what's happening for you. You go to bed at night and you're feeling frustrated. I am really frustrated. This is what happened for me today. And I did this and I think I really blew it. Or I really applied something that I learned. This is the outcome and it really made a difference. Any of those things, because that's going to help the other people in the group. It's going to help reinforce that for you, and it's going to give me feedback so that I know what I can do to support you more. And I wanted to provide that group because I know things happen in between the calls. Even if we met every week, things would happen in between where you're like, oh gosh, I wish Tracy was sitting on my shoulder right now. I wish I had access to information right now. I wish someone could go in my brain and actually do something different for me right now. I've had that feeling myself. I wish someone was actually in my body instead of me so that I could make a different choice, because in that moment I don't think I know the choice to make. And so if you've ever had those moments, this is the place to be. This is the place. I'm going to basically hold your hand because I want to. I want to see you get the shift that you're looking for in your family and with your children. I love children. I'm so passionate, and it doesn't exclude the big people. I call them big people and little people. And I say that because we're all children. We are all children at heart. We have so much in us. It's like we're born to come out and give gifts and be vibrant and alive. I mean, babies, they laugh and they play and they learn and they're curious. And yes, they cry and they get upset and they express that. That's all part of just babies. That's the only way they know how to communicate. So it's we've learned to use words, and I think a lot of times we've gotten kind of mean with our words because we've learned creative ways of expressing our anger, our disappointment, and things that are not working for us. And then we pass that on to our kids, and then they pass that on to their kids, and the dysfunction goes generational, generational, generational. So we're not changing anything unless we actually sit down and say, you know what, this is not working. Yes, the kids will adjust. Kids are resilient. I've heard that many times. Kids are resilient. I was resilient. I went through. I turned out okay. I hear that a lot. It is true. You're okay on the outside. But what's going on the inside? That's really what I'm caring about. What's going on the inside for your kids? How often are you able to sit down and really look at what are they feeling? What are they happy about? What are they not happy about? I mean, being able to look at even personality differences. Do you have an introvert or an extrovert? I know I have some of both. And so how do you your house is kind of like a village or a community or a team, everybody working together. How do you maximize the strengths of each of the people? How do you help to strengthen the areas that are not so strong, or just be able to say, wow, that's not something I'm really good at. Some of those things we can just push aside and say, that's just something I'm probably not going to focus on because I'm not good at it. We can do more of that when we're adults than we can as kids. Certain things we just have to learn and at least get exposed to. But it's really about creating strategies. We are going to look at homework issues. We're going to look at bedtime issues. We're going to look at participating, doing chores, just the sibling rivalry, getting along with each other, power struggles. What are power struggles all about? Boundaries, communication, respect. One of my very, very, very favorite things to do is to really look at what am I doing with my 2-year-old or my 4-year-old or my 5 or my 6 or my 10-year-old that's going to make a huge difference when they're a teenager. What am I doing now that is going to make or break those years? Because if you have kids, and if you're here, you have kids, you're on that trajectory to go to teen years. And if you haven't gotten there yet, everything that you're doing now, you have the power with your child to create awesome years. You're not going to be able to get away from the hormones. You're not going to be able to get away from the peer pressure and some of the other things that happen in our teen years. But you will be able to get away from some of the attitude issues, some of the anger stuff. If your kids are not angry at you, that's a much better place to come from. When they get into those teen years, they're really looking at their friends and trying to figure out what do I want to do with the information my friends are giving me? Do they come back and check with you on that? Are you their default? Do they trust you enough to come back to you? Or do they take that information from their friends and they think that you're out to lunch? There's a really, really beautiful conversation that I've had with my kids that just allows them in those moments to listen just a little bit longer, or just consider what you're saying just a little bit longer. And so I've got a 10-year-old right now. I've got a 10-year-old, almost 11, in, gosh, not very long. She's a few weeks, she's going to be 11. A 14-year-old and a 22-year-old. So I've been through this. I have not had the miserable teen years. And I just really believe, one of the other pieces too, I believe we need to be more present with our kids when they get into these ages of the preteens and the teens. A lot of people say, well, now I have freedom, they're not babies, I don't have to carry them around everywhere. And yes, that is definitely true. You know, there's a definite shift about that. But in the teen years, they have so much pressure, and they're starting to look at, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do with this information that's coming? What do I want to do for work? What kind of people do I want to hang out with? How do I feel about myself? That's going to lay the foundation for their entire life. If you can make that a much better experience for them by just one thing that would make that a much better experience is when they're little, getting them to tap into who they truly are. Getting them to tap into who they truly are. And that's one of the things we work on as well, is how do we support that? Them coming from, not being a follower of everyone, but being able to lead in their own lives and not being bossy in doing that, but doing it in a healthy way. So many different things. I'm really, really excited to be able to share with you and share things that have come through my experience with my kids, experiences I've had with clients, and just basically, the majority of this class, this group, is going to be spent on you. What are you going through, or where are you in your parenting journey? How do you want that to look compared to how it's looking now? Maybe you're on a great track and you're feeling like we're in a good shape, but something tells you, I know we're missing some pieces of information, or there's a little bit of gap somewhere. I want to make sure, you just want to make sure that when you get there, you're in a good place. Because I will tell you, the bottom line is, you want to have trust with your kids, and you want to have communication with your kids, and you want to have respect with your kids. And it doesn't always look the way that we think it looks. Sometimes we're going to get feedback from our kids where someone would say, wow, that was really disrespectful, or they shouldn't be saying things like that. Depending on how it comes, because I'm looking at attitude and I'm looking at their heart. Where did that come from? How are they saying it? Are they really wanting to understand? A very different place than, rolling their eyes and just telling you where you can go, and then they want to go off and do their own thing. So, and that comes with the later years, if you have that dynamic going on in your family. So I welcome you to this group. I really look forward to working with you and learning from you so that I can use that information to give you even more value and more benefits. And I'm trying to think of what else there is that I'm not thinking of. All of the calls are recorded. So even if you can't be on a call live, you will get the recording for that call. And you will be able to sit in on that call and get all the information from that call. And again, if you listen to that and have questions, you just go on the forum and say, what about this? Or could you clarify something? Or I'd like more information about this, that kind of a thing. So I'm really looking at how do we not have any gaps in that 6 months? How do I really hold your hand, take you through things? And I'm taking you where you want to go. I'm not saying this is where you should be as a parent or this is what the perfect parent looks like. I am by far not the perfect parent. I do my best at meeting my kids where they are on their journey. And that's always, they're growing all the time and changing, and I'm growing and I'm changing. So we're always maneuvering through that. And my goal is to help you maneuver through that and have success in doing that with your kids. And so, yes, everything is recorded, and I'm looking to think of what else would there be. Everything's on the page. I think I'm covering everything, but it seems like I'm missing something. So just read through the page. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. You can find me at Traci, T-R-A-C-I, Carman, C-A-R-M-A-N, at alovingway.com. Traci Carman at alovingway.com. And I would be happy to answer your questions. And just really look forward to seeing you in the group. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will see you in the next group. Bye-bye.